Hi, kindergartners. So I'm going to read you another book today that I think you're going to be pretty excited about. When I saw this in the classroom, I thought, oh my goodness, I have to read that to them because I know they loved the first book of this series that we read. So we are going to read Tacky in Trouble. And I know you loved that first Tacky book, so I'm pretty excited to read this to you today. So Tacky is by Helen Lester, and it's illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. So Tacky in Trouble. I want you to pause this video, and I want you to tell your mom or your dad or your brother or sister, whoever you're watching this video with, what you predict or what you think this book is going to be about. What kind of trouble do you think Tacky is going to get into? So, same as yesterday, I'm going to read the story and then I'll show you the pictures afterward. So, Helen Lester, Tacky in Trouble, illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. As goodly, lovely, angel, neatly, and perfect, sang sunrise on the iceberg. The sun rose on the iceberg. They felt very much in charge. I love the way Tacky is sleeping on the corner here. What's happening? Blared Tacky the penguin, greeting each of his companions with a hearty slap on the back. After breakfast, the penguins went about their morning activities. Whether they were ice block building, napkin folding, feather combing, or ballroom dancing, Tacky was an odd bird. Then it was nap time. Nap time for all, that is, but Tacky. What a great day for surfing, he cried. Would that be fun or what? It would be what? Said goodly, lovely angel, neatly and perfect. Go surfing if you must, but please do it quietly. So Tacky took off alone and coasted over the waves. Suddenly, the wind came up, filling his shirt like a sail. He found himself blowing full speed ahead out to sea. He loved the spray on his beak and the thrill of the ride. On he sailed, and on through the sunny days and the starlit nights. By the time he finally reached land, he was standing on tippy webs on an ice cube. With his little heart beating in excitement, Tacky waddled ashore, ready for adventure. After being greeted by the strangest penguins he had ever seen, he came upon a large gray rock. How nice! He had lots of rocks at home. Funny, thought Tacky, this rock is warm. The rocks he knew were cold, and it's a little squishy. The rocks he knew were hard. And it's sort of hairy. Hairy? He couldn't remember any rocks, any hairy rocks back on the iceberg. These are the things that he thought were penguins. He said, these are the strangest penguins I've ever seen. And this is the rock. What do you think that rock is? Do you think it's a rock or do you think it's something else? Tacky never could sit still for long, so he did the little rock-hopping dance that he'd always enjoyed doing at home. I don't need shoes and I don't need socks, just my mellow yellow feet for hopping on the rocks. Hey, I don't need shoes, I don't need socks, just my mellow yellow feet for hopping on the rocks. Hey, I don't. Suddenly, the rock rose up, and a voice louder than any penguin's, a voice louder than even Tacky's, boomed, "Something's tickling my back." Before Tacky could ask, "What's happening?" the rock, whose name happened to be Rocky, grabbed him, and they were crashing through the jungle. So it turns out that rock was an elephant. How does that elephant look like he's feeling? Tacky loved adventures, but was this for fun or what? He wasn't sure. Finally, Rocky came to a very gray clearing, plunked Tacky down and bellowed, "Flowers for my table." While Tacky was puzzled, Rocky was overjoyed. Overjoyed means like happy. For she had taken one look at Tacky's shirt and was convinced she had brought home the most beautiful bunch of flowers in the world. Yes, indeedly, just what I needed to brighten up this dreary old place. Let's see. I'll need a wide vase. It's a gorgeous bunch of flowers, but pretty thick around the stem area. Oh no. What's happening? Is the elephant making a mistake? What mistake is the elephant making? After choosing her widest vase, Rocky plopped Tacky in, and he looked around. The table was set for dinner, with ketchup and lemon pie and grape punch and gravy and mustard and marmalade and peanut butter and lots of other good things. Rocky galloped gleefully around the table, singing, "Flowers make all the difference, flowers make all the difference." "I am not a bunch of flowers," said Tacky. "Say what?" Rocky trumpeted. "Of course you're a bunch of flowers. Don't be silly." She sniffed Tacky. "You smell lovely too." "Thank you," said Tacky, "but I'm not a bunch of flowers. I'm a penguin." Why do you think that Rocky the elephant thought that Tacky the penguin was a bunch of flowers? Rocky eyed Tacky suspiciously. "What's a penguin? Some type of weird plant?" "No," offered Tacky. "It's a kind of bird." "A bird?" snorted Rocky. "What a hoot! You're not like any bird I've ever seen." Tacky felt his neck feathers prickle uncomfortably. "I'm really, honestly, truly a penguin," he repeated. Rocky did not want to hear this. She wanted flowers. She needed those flowers, and her dull gray home needed those flowers. "If you're a penguin, prove it," Rocky demanded. Then she reached out, whoosh, and snatched Tacky's shirt. "At least I'm keeping my pretty blossoms no matter what. Well, unless you can convince me that you're a penguin. Tacky knew he was in trouble now. His shirt was his sail, and without his shirt, how would he get home? He would never see goodly, lovely, Angel, neatly and perfect again. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Tacky's going to be okay? Hurry up now, I'm hungry and I don't have all day, snapped Rocky impatiently. Prove you're a penguin. Do something penguinish. Tacky thought very hard. He just had to show her. Oh, yes, Tacky remembered. Penguins march. He began 1, 2, 3, stepped in the ketchup bowl without knowing it, and continued marching over the table. 4, 5, 17, 100. What else? Asked Tacky. Penguin's belly slide. Tacky got a running start. He skidded across the lemon pie and swished in swirls all over the tablecloth. Where was that lemon smell coming from? Go on, ordered Rocky. Penguins dive. Tacky took a bounding leap up and did a splashy cannonball into the pitcher of grape punch. Refreshing. More confused than convinced, Rocky asked, "And?" "Keep going." Do you remember from the first book when Tacky the penguin was trying to follow the other birds, Goodly, Angel, Lovely, and Perfect, by being marching and singing and diving like all of them, but he was an odd bird, so he couldn't do all of those things the same way they could. This is funny. This is what's making it so silly, huh? What else? What else could a penguin do? Then he remembered what had gotten him into this situation in the first place, and he said, "Penguins are excellent hoppers." Bravely tilting his beak up in his best proper hopping form, he hopped into the gravy and hopped on to the cloth. And hopped in the mustard, and hopped on the cloth, and hopped in the marmalade, and hopped on the cloth, and he hopped in the peanut butter and stopped. Oh my goodness. What happened when he went into the peanut butter? Why did he stop? Then he waddled stickily over to Rocky. "See?" he shrugged hopefully. "I'm a penguin." Rocky looked at her red, yellow, purple, brown, gold, orange, and tan tablecloth and bellowed, "What have you done to my tablecloth?" Tacky froze. He had been having fun doing penguin things and hadn't even realized that he'd made a mess. Uh-oh, he thought. I'm stuck here forever. I'll never get home to my iceberg. My tablecloth, Rocky hooted. I love it. I simply love it. Look at those colors. They're brilliant. They're beautiful, and they're so much prettier than your blossoms. No offense. Here you go. Your wonderful, odd, whatever you are. With that, she picked up Tacky's shirt and flipped it to him. She also threw him a hot dog, a cookie, and 3 kisses. "Thank you," she trumpeted as Tacky waved goodbye and set out for the water's edge. He leaped onto a log, thinking, "I don't know how ice blocks came in brown," or "I didn't know ice blocks came in brown." And as his shirt caught the wind, he set sail. Meanwhile, back on the iceberg, Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect were singing. "Sunrise on the iceberg." The sun rose, and they didn't feel in charge. Life just hadn't been the same without Tacky. Everything was so orderly. Orderly means kind of like everything was so scheduled and perfect. And they were tired of patting each other on the back and whispering, "What is happening?" Nothing was happening. Then they saw a speck in the distance. Who could it be? As the speck came closer and closer, they could see it was Tacky. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect hugged Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, but a nice bird to have around. And many miles away, an elephant sat by her colorful tablecloth and thought the same thing. All right, well, I hope that you liked that book. And I want you to go on SeeSaw, and I'm going to post a little activity where you can tell me what your favorite part about this book was, and you can draw me a little picture, or you can write something about it, okay? So make sure that after you listen to this story, you go on to SeeSaw and do that little activity, okay? Because I'm excited to hear what your favorite part of this book is. So I had fun reading with you, and I will see you probably next week, okay?